All right, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to Bali Unplugged podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by BaliPropertyFinanced.com, where we reduce the barriers to entry so you can own your own first property business in Bali safely and securely. Don't forget to stick around to the end of the podcast because our guest may or may not have a little gift for you. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to Bali Unplugged, your local guide to understanding the Bali business landscape from tourism, property, experiences, and everything else you need to know about coming to Indonesia. Now, I've got our first guest on today. His name is Florent Delente from ILA Global. He's my top legals guy. Whenever someone comes into the country, I introduce him to this guy because this guy knows his stuff. Please give it up for Florent. Florent, tell us a bit about yourself. Where did everything start? Tell us a little bit about, your childhood. What was it like growing up and those
Yeah,
experiences and how it shaped your success?
thank you for the introduction. My pleasure to be here and have this talk with you and for people who are listening to us. I think I come um, to what we do now is because I've been through the same process as the people who are listening to us. Um, the first time I came to Bali was 2005. Okay, so
Hmm.
it was a very different island. The same culture, but the development that we see today was um, a bit different. It started because it was already famous, especially in Australia and for people in Southeast Asia. And in 2015, I had the opportunity to move to east of Indonesia for different projects.
Yep.
And I've been like people here, coming in, coming out. And I have the same also experience that sometimes it's be difficult when you move to another country to
Hmm.
understand how things works, or um, how to say, or not culture, but a way to interact or to understand the regulation, to understand
Yep.
if what we are doing for business is correct or not. Um, Sometimes we have this difficulty, I always take this example, okay? And I think this is the best example, and I already, I think maybe talk to you one day about that. The perfect example of Bali is the helmets,
The
okay?
helmets, yes, it's a big
So,
thing. Yep.
yeah, you come to Bali, you talk to people, and you ask, should I wear a helmet in Bali? You say, yes, I should wear a helmet. But after your friend is saying to you, it's okay, you don't need to wear a helmet in Bali. And after you pass by a policeman with no helmet and you have no
He'll
problem.
pull you straight off that bike.
Yeah. And another guy passing in front of the policeman, the same policeman, then 10 minutes after, and he has a problem. And you go on social media, you see many people advertising Bali on their social media account with no people like Chengdu Shortcut, you have this famous Instagram account where everybody pass
Yep.
by with no helmet.
No helmets, yeah.
And you have another video with the policeman stopping the guy and saying you have to respect the culture, you have to wear your helmet. So sometimes it's confusing. The
Yeah.
regulation is clear. You need to wear a helmet. So I
Yeah.
think people also, why I came to the consulting is also to try to bring guidance to people because I've been also through this experience when I came to Indonesia to understand how things work here,
Yep. Mm.
how you can make your business safe,
Mm.
how you can optimize your business because you asked me what was my background. I come from the finance side. So I was working in
Yeah.
finance industry
Yep.
for many years in France for some banks and asset manager. And after I moved to the consulting. So I was wondering myself after different business that's also I did here, how can I help people?
Yeah,
Let's combine the consulting, my experience also about Indonesia, and
yeah,
and my experience in finance on how to optimize
that's amazing.
investments. So basically, that's what we do, and this is what I'm trying also to bring to people how to live here.
Mm.
And because Bali is a
In the
beautiful
correct way.
place, huh?
In the correct way, not the shady, dodgy way.
Yeah, I mean, this is always the situation.
Mm.
It's you can always trying to be dodgy. I mean, I take the hell again the helmet. You can drive with no helmet, but
Mm.
in
Sooner or
maybe
later.
you will be stopped in one day, you know,
Mm.
and maybe if you have an accident, you will have to pay a lot at the hospital. So
Exactly.
what we try
Yeah.
to do is to give at least the information to people and how to do it and how to make sure that business is safe. When you, I mean, we have been together talking to many, I think, investors, and when you have people who are investing $1 million or $100,000, they ask you why they will give you this money to be invest. And they
Mm.
want to be to an insurance that you understand and not just telling them it's
Yep.
okay. For
Yeah.
somebody that is in New York or in Paris, if you give them $1 million, they want to make sure that what you're saying is correct, you
Exactly.
know?
It's
And
that it's that trust and they want to know that they've got security and they want to know the legals is all like on
yeah,
above board. Yeah.
I I think it's important when you talk with investors. Again, in asset management, it was the same. In private
Mm.
banking, you have investors investing in your fund, and you have to tell them why you make this investment. Of course, you have to tell them what is the risk, why you
Mm.
do that, because every return is with a risk behind,
Mm.
and after it's the choice of everybody to take the decision. Okay, but
Yep.
at least you know that. So yeah, that's why I went back to consulting on that because, like I said, it's based on experience. Here I make also export company. I
Mm.
also import some boat in Indonesia. I spent
Yep.
years in the east of Indonesia, sailing the sea and exploring the
Yeah.
country.
Oh, okay.
Because Indonesia is more than just Bali,
Yeah.
and it's
Oh,
a
it is.
beautiful country with a lot of opportunities of investment. I mean, we can talk about that later in the
Mm.
podcast. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you've done a lot of sailing in your time. That also explains why you love scuba diving and snorkeling.
yeah. I mean, Indonesia. My first discovery of Indonesia was not about Bali or going to a beach club and going party.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Even if I love it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
my first discovery was I was amazed by some documentary about the ocean in Indonesia. It has
Ah,
the biggest biodiversity in the world in terms of marine biodiversity. If you go to east of Indonesia, like Raja Ampat, you have
yep,
70% of all cold species there. 1,700, yeah, species, uh, fish species there.
yeah,
So it's just a paradise. It's called the last paradise. So
yeah.
I work there in the hospitality as well.
Oh, okay.
Um, so it also bring me experience. I love it because hospitality is customer relationship and
Yep,
is understanding also people, and it's
yep.
a very beautiful experience. But
So,
it's
so
also
when you were
open
working in
my.
when you're working in hospitality, is that like accommodation or F&B, food and beverage?
It was a what?
Was it
Say again, sorry.
accommodation or food and beverage hospitality?
It was both. So it was a resort. I was the GM of the resort.
Oh, right. Okay. Cool. I didn't
So
know that.
because it's a remote island. So on a remote island,
Yeah.
you cannot take your motorbike to or your car or your taxi to eat something. You have to go to It's in the resort. So basically, you
Right.
wake up with the guests, you have the breakfast with the guests, you have your lunch with the guests, you have your dinner with the guests. So, so it's you have everything because you have
Yep.
to handle the accommodation part, you have to
Yep.
handle the restaurant part, you
And
have to
even
handle also,
entertainment.
yeah, and the excursion part, which is once more highland hopping, scuba diving, this things like
Wow.
that.
Yeah,
So, but it's a
gotcha.
good, very good experience because you also work a lot with the staff and
Yeah.
with you live with your staff and it's a family, you know. It's not like a normal hotel when you finish to handle your business and you go back 5 o'clock at home.
Yep.
You all the time 24 hours working. So
Yeah.
I think this is good because you learn a lot on how to interact, how to also have experience with people. And I see that in the consulting, you know, because
Yeah.
in the consulting, like my job now, my clients can be in the US, can be in Europe, can be in Australia. So basically, it's not the same time zone. And
No.
so replying to clients when they have a need or when they have a question. I think also I got that from hospitality because people say, yeah, you're always
Mm.
working. I said, no, I don't have the feeling that I'm working. But when you're in hospitality, that when you work 24 hours with your clients, you know,
That's
you
exactly what
learn about
happened.
it. When people wake you up in the middle of the night and say, I have a snake on my bed,
Oh, I don't
you
know
have
how
to
to turn on the
stop
stove. Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
So we are,
Gotcha.
I think yeah, it's good. And for people, I used to say also starting in corporate or whatever, it's good to have
Yep.
hospitality. And even in consulting, I
Yep.
try to have people who come from hospitality because I think
Yeah.
it's something where you learn how to adapt to people and how
Mm.
to understand them, or at
Mm.
least to have the sense of service because you cannot understand everybody. We are not, but at
Gotcha.
least we can do our best to uh, offer the best service. So yeah, so that's why. And I stay a few there, and I love the east of the country. And for people who are listening, for example, it's important because if they look for investment,
Mm.
we always hear about Bali
Mm.
or Lombok,
Yep.
but I always take this example. There is another, and I'm happy to make advertisement for them. It's Miss Solico Resort.
Yep.
This resort is full years in advance,
Mm.
100%. You
Yeah.
want to book
There's a
now, you
huge
cannot book,
delay.
I guess, by 2 years. Why?
Wow.
Because they're in a beautiful area. They have a good service.
Yep.
They are sustainable in their construction and the way to manage their areas.
Mm.
They also have been involved with the community and
Yep.
with the environment where the hotel has been done. So they
Yeah.
protect the marine area.
Yep.
So we can do the same, for example, if you make in Bali, let's say you build an hotel. How do you want to make your attract your customer? And it's a good
Yep.
marketing so as well.
Mm.
You in Bali, you have rice field around, you want to take care of the community around you, give job to the
Mm.
community, stay on your value.
Mm.
Don't try to sometimes compete on things that in any case it will
Yeah.
not be good for you. You know, it's like you said to me, when we start this podcast, do you want to make a 10% or making something for community? All price is the fair price that we're doing all the time.
Mm.
And my price is because I try to give the best all the time to people, like I said,
Yep.
24 hours. And Misolico Resort is the same. This
Mm.
resort, you cannot negotiate anything. They don't care
Yeah.
because they know that what they do is good and that the clients are here for that.
Yeah.
And they don't have to go out of their value. So, for example, these areas there, almost all boats or resorts are fully booked years in advance. You
Oh,
want to book now, you
yep.
cannot. While in Bali, people are trying to where is the best location, where
Yep.
I should build, should I build 300 meters from the beach or
Mm.
2 kilometers from the beach, you
Yep.
know? So there is a lot of opportunity in this country for example, people in the property
Yep.
or hotel or villa sectors. Just try to find the place and look how it is before taking the first sometimes short investment, because
Mm,
depends what you want. Of course, when you invest in these areas, you need time to build. So if you want
mm,
to cash in very fast, of course, having a villa that is bringing or hotel that exists already, making cash flow
mm,
fast. But if you have time to take your investment 8, 10 months, a year,
mm.
you can take a look at many places. So this is also what teach me by going on these other areas
Yeah.
than Bali.
Oh, nice. I
Yeah.
see that you've got such an array of skills from different things that you've done in your past, you know. So from the financial sector to the F&B and the hospitality, that is such a, eclectic lifestyle, as well as, the things that you do with like sailing and scuba diving. That is amazing. So out of like all of the different countries you could have gone, why pick Bali? And were there any other countries on your list that were like, okay, maybe I'll go there? Tell us that.
You're from Philippines, huh?
Yeah, I'm from the Philippines. That's right.
Yeah, I love Philippines. So I lived in the Philippines as well, and I love the country. And when I moved, so in 2015, I moved definitely because I wanted to make like, let's say, a conservation break and work on different things.
Yep.
So because in the
Oh,
finance
so
industry,
you went to the Philippines in 2015.
yeah, I went to the Philippines.
Oh, that's when I
Kind
left.
of, yeah, it's when I
Yeah.
left France. I went first to Philippines directly, not
Yep.
not even Indonesia, because I
Right.
love the country. And I think Philippines is like Indonesia. You have a lot also of opportunities, different islands.
Yep.
Um,
Where
Now
did you stay?
Siargao, say in Bohol.
Oh, in Bohol. Ah, in Visayas region. Beautiful.
Yeah, I was in
Yep.
Bohol, and after I was in on Negros, on
Yep.
Dumaguete. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
you have been around. Fuck, that's
yeah,
that's
yeah,
usually
yeah.
that's usually cities that people don't usually mention. But okay, cool.
Yeah. I've been to Bataan, I've been to Manawe in the north, I've been to Old Palawan, Old Coron,
Lawan. Oh, Coron.
Camiguin,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Cagayan de Oro. Yeah.
Well,
Anyway, I
you've been
traveled.
to CDO. Shit. Okay.
So,
All right.
so I love the country and I
Mm.
love the diversity of Philippines as well as
Yep.
Indonesia.
Mm.
And I love the people. But I
Mm.
think like one thing that made me quit and go back to Indonesia was the food.
The food is good, right? It's phenomenal. Extra spicy.
Cannot lie. I will not say Indonesia or Bali because it was the best culture and opportunities and things. It's
Yeah.
just honestly the food was difficult for me. so, so I went back to Bali that I knew,
Yeah.
and I discovered something that made me stay. And the question is not why I came to Bali; it's more why I stayed to Bali. You know,
Yeah. What hooked
because
you?
why I came to Bali is because the food was not good. Live with that. But
Yeah.
however, what made me stay in Bali? I think it's when I arrived, I saw what we are talking
Mm.
about Bali. This is the people, the
Mm.
culture here that is strong. That keep seeing the same since 2005 that I came. They never changed. People were
Mm.
saying the same. They were keeping their ritual. They were keeping their tradition, and they were keeping their value. So the people
That's right.
we were surrounding by was something that I was feeling in peace to live.
Mm.
Um, I live in Chennai at the moment, and when I moved from Chennai this morning on the way to Chennai, I was saying to myself, "Oh, again a ceremony on the road." So every day they were like, "But they keep it,"
Yeah.
and this is lovely for that. So
It's
I really love
dedication.
that. First is the culture, and second, by staying with the culture and surrounded by the culture, I also discovered that it was a place that was attracting a lot of people from around the world.
Oh,
People
absolutely.
um, with different experience from different countries, from different vision.
Yep.
And more than just discovering a culture, you were learning from each other
Mm.
and be surrounded by a, a community that you could build.
Mm.
faster than in other countries, such France, for example,
Oh,
where when you work in Paris, you finish your job at 11 p.m. I mean,
that's
especially in
incredible.
finance, you finish late.
Yeah.
You go home or you go to the gym and you go home. You don't have time to have this event, also have
Yeah.
this community that you can meet because it's 1 hour from your place and you don't have
Yeah.
time to go and
Wow.
you're just exhausted. So I really like for that this vibe that was where
Community. Yeah.
Balinese were welcoming the world to them.
Mm. Mm.
And and I discovered that especially when I stay here during COVID. During
Yep.
COVID, a lot of people started to see Bali on social media and say, "Oh, this is a place. Why the world is closed when Bali can?"
Yep.
I had the best time of my life in Bali of course,
During
during
COVID.
COVID in Bali. Business wise, no, I lost one business, but in terms of personal development, it was great because suddenly you could live with people around you
Mm.
and start to build something. So it has been beautiful for that. So I would share first what makes State Bali the opportunity because this country is developing a lot.
Mm.
You have people a lot from Java, you have coming here from Jakarta, who are also bring also some ideas, developments. They are in terms of blockchain, in terms of crypto, they are already well advanced compared to other countries. Um, they are well connected with, I think, with the new world, with the new generation,
Yeah.
and people try and create. And this is what I like here is that what you want to do, you can do.
Mm. There's
It's
no
difficult because
social restrictions, and everyone is on the same sort of path. They're like,
yeah,
it's that tribe. You're looking for people who have the same direction in life. Yeah.
totally agree. Exactly.
Mm.
And after for sure, sometimes it's difficult because you need, like we said at the beginning, navigate with the law, the regulation. What can I do? How I
Mm.
cannot do? At the moment, I'm on another project, and of course, I'm studying on the regulation with my team for another
Mm.
spin-off or business that we are going to launch. And it's not easy because you always have sometimes to, okay, how we should adapt. But anyway, if you want to do it, you can.
Mm.
And this is what is good. And you need somebody that is good in development. You have Indian here or somebody in Jakarta that can do. You need good somebody in marketing. You can find a good one from US here around you. So you can have your people to
Mm.
work all
Mm.
together. And I think this is what I like and make me stay here at the
Yep.
moment. Of course, it's not easy. I know
Yep. Oh.
2015, I saw people coming in, people
Oh.
and friends that I had before COVID that they left to France or in Canada or other countries, they never came back because they started their new life there. And I'm sure people who are here today, we will not see them in 1 or 2 years, and
Yes.
some people will still be here. It's life, but
That's
at
it.
least there is this uh, dynamic, which is beautiful. And I think for people who are listening or in Australia or Philippines or France or US, Singapore, if you are asking yourself, where should I start if I have an idea and want to make a business?
Yep.
You can go US or you can come here. I
Yeah.
think this is the two places at the moment that are bringing that. Now on the property side, there was a lot of development and you have still a lot of opportunities to take
Yep.
it here
Yep.
with nice return on investment. But like I said, you can also look further. You don't
Yep.
have only Bali, you have also other islands in Indonesia that can bring that,
Yep.
depending on what is your investment perspective.
Yeah.
If it's my investment is cash out in 5 years, it's cash out on 10 years, is it a retirement plan? Is it
Mm.
because in my life I need quick cash flow?
Yeah.
Yeah. But quick cash flow is more risk, eh? You know,
Oh, of course. Yes. Yes. So it's interesting you say that because the, based off the, because we had this conversation yesterday, And it was funny how Adrian mentioned something that was really sort of a unique take. And he was saying, wow, what was he saying? Oh, Jesus, I forgot now. Um, you're going to have to pull me up on it. He was saying it's based on your wants, what wants versus needs, and the barrier of entry in terms of, like, I think you were saying this too. The barrier of entry in Bali is so much more easier because if you want to start a good business, then Bali is the best place to be. But if you wanted, like, do a scalable business where it's massive, US is better. But at the same time, it's like, do you really want that sort of headache if you're sort of new to investing into the market and whatnot, or if you just want to be able to find your grounding?
Yeah. I remember with this discussion on that. I think it's right on that. If
Mm,
you, of course, US, for example, on the scale of a big business is good. I mean,
mm,
and but Indonesia, okay, if you go to small and medium business, of course, Bali is great. You can develop also big business in Bali.
mm,
There's no no issue for that. For example, you take Sababai, which is the wine
mm,
industry. Um, they do good expansion in the rest of Indonesia. Of course, it will be difficult to export due to the wine, but
mm,
Indonesia, what I'm saying is also has 270 million customers.
mm.
Is the
That's a
fourth
massive
population
population.
in the world.
Mm,
Is the fourth population in the world.
mm.
China, India, US, Indonesia.
Indonesia. Yeah,
If you
almost
want to
300
develop a
million.
big business and scale a business
Yeah.
out of properties, of course, or
Mm,
even properties,
yeah.
depends what you want to do.
Mm,
If your target markets, you say, I want to target people in Jakarta, or I want to target house villages for middle class in Indonesia, you have a big business here.
mm,
You have a big opportunity here.
mm,
As a developer, you can scale. But what is my market? Do I build something for a foreigner coming in vacation here?
mm.
Or do I build something for 270 million with a middle class maybe of 50 million, which is already more than the population of France or Australia?
Yeah, that's true. That's like 10 times the population of Australia already. Yeah.
So this is also sometimes, and what I love with Indonesia,
Mm,
and sometimes we forget as a foreigner, is to eventually target a lot of people, for example, Seminyak. Let's say talk about properties now.
mm,
Let's say Seminyak.
mm.
Seminyak has one of the highest rates in occupancy,
Yeah.
maybe the highest in Bali.
Oh,
Okay,
90%, 80%. Yeah.
because why people go to Seminyak? You have also Indonesian coming for the weekend, 3 days. I was talking.
Right.
I
I had
was I
no
was
idea
talking.
that that's the demographic. Okay.
Yeah, I was talking with a developer. Okay,
Yeah.
and he has several villas here already, 15 developments. And say me, I touched only Seminyak.
Yeah.
Say the occupancy rate is always full, and he has one or two villas with 6 rooms, okay? And it's
Mm.
always full because you have people coming
Mm.
from Jakarta,
Yeah.
coming with friends, families. They book the
Yeah.
rooms, they book for a few days.
Quick weekend
People,
holiday. They don't need a new passport, nothing like this. It's easy.
yeah, and nobody else. So for big business, you have opportunity here with Indonesia, middle class. Bali has a strong middle class. How many developers here? I know a big developer is Green Village, Greenwoods. They are
Yeah.
in Jimbaran. They have Jimbaran Hijau with them, but they are in Jakarta.
Yeah.
They are developing housing in Surabaya, in Jakarta, in Bali, Ubud, Jimbaran. But the
Yeah.
target is what? Is the middle class of
Middle
Indonesia.
class Indonesians.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's a misconception that a lot of expats do when they come in and they think it's the best place to invest is really just other expats because it's foreign income. But what they tend to, so what you're saying is basically people forget that there's a huge middle class here in Indonesia, which is a massive market.
Of course, you have
Okay.
a very strong. When you go to Jakarta, we have an office in Jakarta and we have an
Mm,
office in Bali, as you know.
mm.
And when I go on weekend in Jakarta, they don't need foreigners to
Tip
go
the
for in the
accommodation.
restaurants and in parties
That's so
and
true.
the plate in Jakarta for the simple aglio olio pasta is more expensive in Jakarta than in Bali. And you have people
Wow.
spending this money. You go to bars and clubs, it's full of people
Yeah.
spending and spending there. Um, SCBD south of Jakarta is look like Singapore for me now. The south of
Mm,
Jakarta, it's very clean, it's green. You have sidewalk, you have good public transport like the LRT, MRT. So
yeah.
these people are living in a different environment
Mm,
with also the power of spending.
yeah.
Okay. And these people also need to have a second home, and maybe
Mm,
Bali is their second home for vacation. So,
right. It's the
so
tourist
yes,
trap
you
for
have
them.
a
Mm,
strong one. But after, I'm not saying to foreigners straight away go to this market. I'm
mm,
just saying that because what is important first is to we say KYC, know your customer, which is
yeah.
you need to know your customer first. You're not going to say, okay, I'm going to attack Jakarta markets or people. Go to Jakarta, try to understand your market, try to understand the people,
Mm,
understand Indonesia. Like I said, visit east of Indonesia.
mm,
Opportunities if you already a strong developer, you say, okay, I want maybe to attack this market, or I need maybe to partner with these people, and
mm,
what can I bring to develop? So, of course, I'm a single foreigner. I want to develop one villa. Maybe I know straight away first to what I know, which is Australian, Singaporean, or Airbnb business, whatever, because this is what I know.
mm,
That's when you start to scale your business. Like we
mm,
said with Adrian, you can, it's good for small and middle business. But
mm.
how I scale my business is when I attack the domestic market because the domestic market start to be big for me, and there is a lot of
Wow.
opportunities.
Okay, that is some invaluable insight, Florent. Wow, that's interesting. I got another question. In terms of like expats or people who are looking to move to Bali and they come from, a white collar job or maybe a blue collar job where, they're stuck in a cubicle or they're stuck on a mine site all day and they're really trying to consider moving to an emerging market like Indonesia. Um, what kind of advice would you have for that person to sort of help them in their decision making? And it's like, is this worth it for me?
Hmm. It's an interesting question because I think it depends also at which stage in your life you are. You
Mm,
know, depends. I have different clients who are in Singapore at the moment, also are the expat, but in Singapore and are thinking to remove moving here.
mm,
One of the points of consideration in your what stage in your life, I would say, is also do you have kids?
that's true.
And
That is a big factor.
which age your kids have. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, some people, if you have kids between 0 and 5, 8, it's different. That's suddenly if your kids are 13 years old
Mm,
or if they have to go to college. So, so my advice is really personalized. But first is come here. It's not because you listen to podcast
yeah.
that's okay, this is what I want to do. Spend time.
Yeah.
Spend maybe 1, 2 months here. Start to work remotely.
Mm,
Try to understand. It's not because you came 2 weeks in vacation that
mm,
this is the place maybe you want to relocate. You
yeah.
know, um, you need to spend time. You need to understand, is it good for me? Because I saw people coming, like I said, and leaving after 1 year or 2 years. And unfortunately, they had to yeah, to move back everything, which is it was a
Yeah.
good experience.
Mm,
And I saw people staying here are here for 30 years already. So so
yeah.
first things is calm. One, come and study. Two, consider the location also is important. For example, Uluwatu is a very good place of development at the moment.
Mm.
However, if you have kids, the difficulty is the
Cool.
school.
Mm.
Okay, so depending on what is your, yeah, like I said, do you have
Prerogative.
kids or what do
Yeah.
you want? Yeah, the location might be different. The day you have school, like I said, if somebody listen to us and want to, I want to develop a business school there. So if somebody listen and wants
Yep.
to to partner on this development, the day you have a school in Uluwatu,
That's when the
everybody will
families
move
will
there.
move.
Yeah, Django will
Right.
be empty
So if you
because
can
the
get in
beach.
before the schools start getting built, that means you're in a gold mine pretty much.
Yeah, yeah, because how many parents I discuss and say, "Yeah, I don't go to Uluwatu because there is no school."
Mm.
Because I need to go to Montessori school. I need to have my Chingu school, British school, etc. So
Mm.
that's why a lot of people cannot move. But the day you have, and I know that there is some projects there, it will be a game changer. So second, I would say is, if you want to move, choose wisely the location. And third, what you want to do here. If you can work remotely, it's fine.
Mm.
You can work from everywhere. I would say in terms of internet infrastructure, it's pretty well. It's very good
Mm.
compared to other countries. So it's quite good in Bali. Um, the infrastructure around you, restaurants, supermarket, groceries, you have everything. So it's really something. And third is, what is your plan for the long term, medium long term?
Mm.
What kind of business you want to develop? Um, and yeah, look at the legalities. Again, I go back to what I do and what we do, but
Yep.
look at how you can move also with your family, your
Mm.
visas, etc. This is very important.
Mm.
Um, but don't hesitate to come. This is
Yeah.
the time to come.
So
Come to
definitely,
Bali.
definitely
Yeah,
dip your toe in the water. Come and have a look
yeah, yeah.
and see the place and get a feel
You
for it.
you don't risk so much at the end.
Mm.
What is
Mm.
the risk? The risk is just to go back home.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
And what is the benefit? Is to have a second home and
That's
to have
so
a
true.
place where you will feel home
Yep.
and you will be in harmony. So it's fine.
Yep. Be
It's
able to
fine. Well,
disconnect from all the stress from Western countries and yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I,
Beautiful.
I moved here, Philippines first, I was preparing so much document. I have to do that. And
Mm.
what happened? I have to prepare my insurance. I have to do that. Or if I buy this property, I have to do this and this and this. At the end, everything is smooth.
Yeah.
Everything will be fine.
Do you find that transactions here are much more smoother compared to, let's say, the Philippines?
Um, the communicate, what's the point? In Philippines, it's easy in a certain way because depends with who you deal. If you deal with
Yeah.
foreigners, again, the community in Indonesia, it's fine
Mm.
in Bali because um, you can find easily
Mm.
people from your culture,
Mm.
from different culture, but that's
Mm.
speak English.
Yeah.
The difficulty in terms of transaction that I found in Indonesia
Mm.
was is when you have to deal with locals sometimes
Mm.
and landowners, for example, in
Mm.
terms of transaction like that, or even business transaction, and you have
Mm.
misunderstanding because of the culture, because of the
Yep.
bio language,
Yeah, the language. Fair
and
enough.
I will not go again trying to just promote more service, but again, what we do
Yep.
with Ayla
Mm.
is to facilitate also that transaction
Of
to
course.
avoid problem and misunderstanding and to avoid that also contract that you do for your transaction
Yep.
are not here to protect you. So you will have 90% success and you have 10% maybe that will fail.
Yeah.
But like I used to say, people who had problem are not here anymore to tell you that there was problem
Yeah.
because they
Of
already
course, because
left.
they're already gone.
Yeah,
How can they tell you the problems?
yeah.
And why would
So
they
you,
even? Yeah.
yeah. So you don't find them in the networking, you don't find them in the events because they're not here.
Yeah.
So,
And it's not
so
like they're going to tell
transaction
their
is,
story online and become ashamed of of whatever they've done. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we have a lot of story that we could say. It would be another podcast.
It
Just
would be.
the 10 mistake to not do in Bali, for example.
Yeah.
But just to reassure people that however transaction is easy.
Mm.
Once you have how to say secured or make sure that what you do is correct or that
Mm.
you're protected when you talk and when you show also to the other person that you are with the right people to I always say that when you sign an agreement or whatever people on but when you bring them to the office to our office with our law team,
Mm.
suddenly they are not acting the same way.
Mm.
Suddenly they respect, they can speak in Indonesian
Mm.
because also sometimes it's the misunderstanding. They need to understand also in language what you write, what
Yeah.
has been done. So having also people that can help in translation is good.
Mm.
Don't
Mm.
pretend it's not because the person say yes that she
Mm.
understood.
Yeah,
Okay.
I find
And
that's a huge thing. It's like Indonesians will
yeah,
just say yes because it's like just to move the conversation forward so they can get a better understanding of it. Doesn't mean they really mean yes though. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. So I think it's important to, yeah, exactly, to do that and
Mm.
but otherwise, in terms of transaction payment, after once you sign, everything is smooth. Huh?
Yeah.
You can sign in Indonesia in 24 hours. You
Oh,
can make a
crazy.
commercial agreement. Signing online via now, it's
Just like
easy.
that.
There is
Yeah.
a so even financial system is good.
Mm.
Actually, it's very good. I'm very surprised. The banking system is quite good. You can
Yep.
transfer fast. You don't need to wait 48 hours, 24 hours.
That's
It can
crazy.
be instant when you transfer. So, so it's quite good. After you ask me compared to Philippines, I love the transaction. I love the way to interact with people. I think it's the most welcoming people in the world.
Oh, it's
And
crazy.
and pe- and people in Philippines, what makes easy is the English.
Yeah,
Uh,
English is
yeah,
spectacular.
because
Yeah.
everybody speak English. I had
Mm.
before an office in Manila
Mm.
and also in Indonesia for
Mm.
another business. And the most friendly was honestly was the Filipino. You were arriving there, everybody was so welcoming. So
Hello, Paul.
because
Kumusta?
because
Yeah.
the culture is more, uh,
Yep.
opening here, people are a bit more
Service.
shy.
That's
Takes
true.
take time to get their confidence, to
Mm.
be confident with you,
Mm.
and to having maybe there is this, you know. If you speak Indonesian later, I mean, sorry, I don't want to take all the time you will get, but you have this bapa where
Yep.
emba
Yep.
or bli, where
Task.
depending your
Yeah.
age, you
Yep.
have your they
Pleasantry.
call you by your name, before your
Yeah.
name, like
Yep.
and uh, and this makes sometimes some barriers, because they have also if you go to Bali, you still have the caste system. It's very important to people
That's
who listen.
true. A lot of people forget that there's a caste system.
Yeah, you have a
Yeah.
caste system in Bali, and in the caste system, you have some people that you have to address in a way, and some
Mm.
people that you don't have to address in a way. And I remember one of my staff said, if you can have a Gojek driver that is from a royal family, I mean, a noble family, and you have to address them in a different way that if you address another person.
Yep.
So that's also make sometimes the communication sometimes can be difficult because
Mm.
and you
Tell
need
me.
to have people to help you or you need to take time to understand the culture. When you arrive in the Philippines,
Yeah.
you just
It's
open the
easy
door of the
to.
plane and
Yeah.
then but I used to say you cannot do mistake in the Philippines. While
No.
in Bali, you have to, or Indonesia, you have to
Yeah.
walk sometimes on eggs
Mm.
with some people, with the culture, with the caste, with the
Yeah.
if they're from a rich family, non-rich family. So
Yep.
you address people differently. So in the transaction can be also sometimes have to be careful on that.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Indonesians can become very embarrassed if you don't help them save face at all.
so that's why often we have some people like us or other people can help you, or like you with friend, you can help people who have been here to navigate, I would say, the landscape of
Mm.
Indonesia and understanding. It's not that it's complicated, it's just that it's a bit you need to take time or to understand. Yeah, that's why the people. Um, yeah, that's it. But at the end, the transaction is good. You can make it. It's easy in terms of process. Okay,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
um,
So to summarize what you're saying, basically, you're saying that it's easy in terms of process. It's very lightning quick, but the only issues that you may, or the only challenges that you may come across is communication. As long as you are an effective communicator, then it can then become easy. Because I
yeah,
noticed the same sort of thing, and the difference in the Philippines, it's sort of like the opposite, where you've got a lot of red tape, but the communication is so smooth.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
You give me the idea now to go back to Philippines a few days. I miss it.
Let's
Yeah.
book a flight. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So it looks like the time's heading up to wrap up soon. Florent, it has been amazing chatting with you. Do you have any, last parting words to anyone who's really sort of considering, trying out Bali and even Indonesia? Any, little things that you might not have covered what we were talking about, but definitely might be able to fill.
Oh, I, I think to summarize, Bali is a small world inside the world with its own problem as well.
Hmm.
We have a community with people from all around the world. We have things that we cannot hide, like ecological problem, development problem as well, infrastructure problem,
Hmm.
um, fast development problem as
Hmm.
well. However,
It's a very
because there
small
is
city.
problem, there is opportunities.
That's
Because
right.
there is solution. And if
Hmm.
you have solution to bring, it means that there is opportunities, there is business opportunities.
Hmm.
And I think people should see Bali more as a place that is just the beginning of something
Yep.
and that is going to evolve and come here to be part of that. And we will be happy to give you some insight on how it works and to if you hesitated, don't hesitate, come. That's time.
Beautiful. Those amazing parting words. All right. Thanks, Florent. Appreciate, jumping on the podcast. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for tuning into the Bali Unplugged podcast. This episode was sponsored by BaliPropertyFinance.com, where we reduce your barriers of entry so you can easily acquire a property business in Bali.